This is for my homework response reading blog, 5-minute video for the following readings. I've got this one, that one, and this one. Now, we have already discussed this in class, which I thought was awesome that we discussed it. We got to read them on Monday night, Tuesday night, whatever, and then discussed it in class. I thought it was really interesting. Most of the readings were good. I'm going to start with the first one, the critical literacy, which is the one that I didn't care for the most, but thought that it was fairly interesting. What I wrote down was critical literacy is for teachers to use what's around them to see what students like and help use them in the classroom to help teach them on the same level, to just teach students to teach students to interact with them and to let them know how it's going on. My example from this reading would definitely be the first classroom application is the lyrics from a popular song. I thought it was a great way to teach students something simple. The teacher uses, for example, the lyrics from Lloyd, which is a popular artist, written by Bob Marley, about the soldier. How the student gets to see the history right there from something that they didn't even know. The logic of, even the stuff around them can be used to learn with and connect with the students, which I also found really interesting going into another assignment that I did on my critiquing of a lesson plan. I did, which is pretty cool, I did video games and math, which I thought was interesting, again, reaching those students at a level where you take what they know around them to teach them. The second one I read was the teaching standard English to whose standards. Obviously, what are regular standards for English? I think English is to be able to communicate on any kind of level. I mean, you don't have to have perfect English to be able to communicate with someone. Certain standards. My example from this one that I liked the most was where the young man on page 156, the young man gets the courage to be brave enough to tell his story about the abuse in his family, and that I think it's because he was gay. I don't know how to pause it. After he read his report, basically telling kids his issue and his story, that he was gay and that his parents were gay, one of his other students was in tears because she had the same issue with her father being gay, and she didn't know how to address that because kids are just mean nowadays, and it's unrealistic how cruel they can be. I just thought it was unbelievable that he was brave enough to talk to his class about the issues that he was going through, and it not only helped him become a bolder person, and writing is obviously a great way to help that standard English come out, but it helped him relate to other students in his class. He got to connect with, obviously, this other girl in his class, and again, that goes into communication of being able to have that communication, which is basically standard English, to me, I think, is being able to know what's around you. I also liked your example that you talked about in class on page 157. Was it 157 or was it? No, sorry, it was 155. When we pay more attention, when more attention is paid to the way something is written or said than to what is said, students' words are thought become devalued, which I thought was interesting, because I think I said it in class, was my issue was, you know, even going to the learning lab downstairs, when I've written a paper, especially the cultural profile paper, you know, these papers that are supposed to be very biased and show your feelings, I have the fear that they want to change your language and the way you wrote it, because they want it to be so more superior and college acceptable, I guess you would say, that I feel like then it's not your story anymore, because that's not the way we talk. When we're talking about something that's personal, I think the way I've written it is perfectly fine. I don't think I need all the big words. Now, when it comes to a more formal paper and a research paper, yes, I can see using those bigger words and making it more college or professionally ready, where a personal paper I don't think needs to have every perfect little critique of vocabulary and everything. It's a personal paper. I think it should be written the way it needs to be written. The last one I read was For My People. This was my favorite reading of the three. And I'm actually going to go ahead and read one of the poems from the girls. For my folks, two-steppin', shit-kicking peers, blue-collared rednecks, bow-legging horsemen, this is my song to you. Moonshiners, horse ranchers, hillbilly roots, wild women, bare feet, it's nothing or it's boots. Twilly sweet fiddle, songs about our lives, maybe sappy to everyone else, but that's how we survive. Fishing, singing, riding bareback in the field, tight cowboy butts and Wrangler jeans. I love the way they feel. Tailgating parties, couples in the barn, hay in their hairs. It's just our music. It's the way of our life. I overly related to this poem that the girl wrote, Laura Ann. She was a senior at the Jefferson High School, which, from what I gathered from the poem, from the article, was that it was an inner city school with, you know, obviously this teacher